Hi, I am Andrea Brillmann, and I'm the developer of Swiss Create Business Manager. In this video, I will show you how to use SCBM as a project manager or a business consultant, and give you a few tips about how to collaborate with other people on the same project. On my screen, I have two browser windows to simulate two people on two different computers. On the left, I have Rosina Woodland, and she is a licensed user, and this is the business consultant. And on the right side, I have the email inbox of John the beekeeper, and he will be my client. He has no SCBM account yet. So the first thing you need to do is to decide which language you want to use throughout this project. Then you create the project in this new language for your client. This time it's the bee farm. For John the beekeeper. And I'm the commentator, Rosina Woodland. Save. Okay, now to invite the other person to this project, I will need to go back to the project settings. Team. Here I can add team members. I can insert the email. Oops. And choose the language my client understands best, and send the invitation to this email address. Okay. Now, John, in his email account, he has received this email. It says, "Hello, Rosina Woodland has invited you to join a project on Swiss Create Business Manager. Join project Bee Farm Startup." Okay. And he gets the login page to Swiss Create Business Manager. If he already has an account, he can just log in. Otherwise, you need to create a free user account. Let me choose the username and the password, and give the email address. And the full name. Accept terms and conditions, and that's it. Now the account is created and it just needs to be activated. So he needs to go back to his email inbox and click on activate. Now the user account is created and activated. Now, would you like to join the project Bee Farm Startup? Okay. Now your client has successfully joined your project. If you go back to the project settings, you need to reopen them. Team. Now you can see team members John the beekeeper. You can remove him again from the project if you want. Now both of you are working on the same project. But there are some differences between the free and the licensed user. The licensed user can access the administrator mode. So if you open a module, you'll see the button for the administrator mode on the top right. Free users don't have that button. With the administrator mode, you can edit the questions of the business module. For example, you can add new questions. or you can delete any existing questions, or you can move around you can change the order of questions. Then you can save this and exit the administrator mode. And you have a new business model. So if your client wants to see this, he just needs to reopen the module. Now he can see your new questions. As a free user, he cannot edit the questions, but he can write his answers. Now imagine your client has carefully answered all the questions of the business model, and you want to do a review and give him feedback. I can see his answers here. And there is this button, Add Comment, on the top right. This opens the area to write comments. It's a free text field where both of you can write. You could, for example, give a date and your name, and then write your feedback and suggestions. You can choose a status to show an overall rating of the module. To save the command, save the whole module, again with the Save button. Now your client can see your comment as well. You may have realized that every time I did a change in the consultant's browser, I had to close and reopen the module in the client's browser. I had to do this because otherwise the client's module did not show the consultant's changes. But in reality, what happens if both of them work on the module at the same time? Let's say the consultant added a new question. Second question. In the meantime, the client wrote an answer to some other question. Here. Let's say the client saves the module with his answer, and then you want to save the module as well because you added a new question. What's going to happen in that moment? You will see that there is a conflict and you will get this window. It says, someone has saved new changes of this module. Please choose which changes you want to keep. So you get the three options. You can see the original on the left, where you both started with. Then you see the other changes. So this is what the other person did in the meantime. And then you see my own changes. This is what we did. So here we see the added question. And in the middle we see the long answer of your client. I recommend taking notes of your own changes and then keeping the other changes. So you have the other person's version and don't lose any of his work. Okay. And then you do your own changes again. So I will add my own question again. Save again. And now it's cool, because now it's a combined version of both. We have my new question and we have the answer of your client from before. The important thing to remember here is that the more frequently you save your work, the better it is. Now let me talk about the language. Up to now I showed everything in English, but we have other languages too. German, English, Nepali, Romanian, Russian and Vietnamese. What if your client is Vietnamese? The first step is to choose Vietnamese from the top navigation. Now everything is in Vietnamese. If you open your business module again, all the buttons are in Vietnamese, but the contents are still in English. Why is this? It happens on purpose, because if the contents will be changed to Vietnamese, that would mean the software would have to translate the contents that you wrote. So instead, the contents are untouched. The questions in the business modules and most other modules are being created at the moment when you create a new project. Therefore, it's important to choose the language before you create a project. Let me do this now. So we choose the language first. Now we create a new project. And we invite the same person again. You can even send the email in Vietnamese. He can switch to Vietnamese in his program as well. And he received your email. Not yet. Here it is. It's the invitation to your project, but this time it's in Vietnamese, just in case the English version is below. Okay, it's asking him if he wants to accept the invitation. Okay. And now he has access to your Vietnamese project. And all the questions and answers in the business model will be in Vietnamese. Is your language not yet supported by SCBM? Please contact us and help us add your language. Okay, now you've learned how to use SCBM for business consulting and working on a project together. Tell us in the comments below how you are using SCBM and write a feedback on scbm.biz/feedback. You can also watch our other videos, follow us on Facebook and register for our newsletter on scbm.biz. If you have any questions, just ask. I am Andrea Brillman and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.